Welcome back to my Ancient Dungeon VR guides, and in this episode, it may be one of the most anticipated due to, well, a specific enemy here, causing issues for many players. In this guide, I seek to alleviate any shortcomings a player may feel they have in the Forgotten Library. The Forgotten Library marks the first real shift, and has very unique enemies in it as compared to the first two floors. Some of these enemies will require very specific actions to beat, and some of them require specific actions to beat without taking damage. So with that, let's get started. I think I would be doing a disservice not to mention the unique traps and other environmental hazards that are unique to the Forgotten Library. The Forgotten Library does have a trap similar to the arrow traps of the former floors, but this trap shoots the explosive projectile that the exploding book shoots, which we'll get to later. These traps are generally in areas that are optional and can be avoided easily. The Forgotten Library also features teleporters. These teleporters are blue ellipse-shaped outlines that when the player steps into them, they will teleport to another location. This dungeon may also be the first time that you encounter the blue torch. The blue torch is a small item that generates a force field. To bypass this, and any enemy within it, you have to break the torch by entering the field. Then the enemies will become vulnerable. Now with that, let's get started with the enemies. The Possessed Armor is the first of these very unique enemies. The Possessed Armor has a large, metallic body that is immune to damage. However, they become vulnerable after blocking one of their sword strikes. The player simply needs to hold their sword perpendicular to where the armor is attempting to strike. This will cause the armor to visually stagger where they can be hit once for damage. Rinse and repeat until the armor falls. If you encounter them in a group, attempt to circle, allowing one to hit and the other to follow, then hold your ground. This will cause the strikes to become staggered in timing, enabling you to actually have the time to block both and respond with damage. Both forms of the Wisp are fairly simple enemies to deal with. Outside of a difficulty modifier, Wisps are always defeated in one blow. Their small size can make them difficult targets, and the pink one's explosion makes you not want to get up close. Despite this, they're easier to hit than you think with a throwing knife, and the blue ones can get killed by the spread damage of certain relics and weapon upgrades. Don't get flanked, and you should be fine. Flying books are stationary enemies that will shoot a fairly fast, non-explosive projectile that can be deflected back at the book. However, the standard flying book has the same HP pool as a Wisp, making it very easy to kill the throwing knife due to its large size and stationary nature. The aberrant flying book, which is differentiated by its red appearance, shoots a 3-round burst in a fan pattern that can be at times difficult to deal with. It also has a higher HP pool, so don't attempt to hit it once with a throwing knife and think it is as easily felled as its blue counterpart. The exploding book is similar to the flying book, except that it shoots a slow, explosive projectile. The radius is bigger than you think, and if it's your first time, exercise caution. However, with practice, they will be as easily felled as the standard flying book, as one of its deflected projectiles is enough to do them in. Arguably the most difficult enemy variant in this dungeon are the phase slimes. The two variants of phase slimes include the standard pink phase slime and the aberrant orange phase slime. The orange teleports a little further and is faster. This may be the most requested enemy in the Discord and when I first announced that I was making this guide. The answer to beating these enemies is simple. Sidestep them. The slimes on teleport will shoot past you if you simply move to the left or right. As they miss you, you can strike them with the knife or the sword if you're close enough. The orange slime can actually be tricked into falling into the void as it will far overshoot its target if straight. The pink slime can actually be beaten without even sidestepping it, assuming you space it correctly. I would recommend trying that if you're new to fighting them. Just keep the sidestep in mind and attack from a safe distance. If you do that, you'll be fine and you'll bypass them with ease. The beam focuser is an interesting enemy. It has a homing laser that originates from the crystal being the beam focuser. Beam focusers tend to resist throwing knife damage and are almost always immediately eliminated by a melee strike. However, many times they're in areas inaccessible to hit with a melee attack. To defeat them, you have to use cover to your advantage. If you stay behind cover long enough, they'll stop shooting at you and you'll have the opportunity to strike them again. If you need to get past them to get to cover, or to get to another beam focuser in the room, you can duck under the initial laser pass in real life. Trying to duck under the beam twice will almost guarantee you taking damage. The last standard enemy originating in the Forgotten Library is the Disc Elemental. The Disc Elemental winds up by generating a circle of damaging energy around it and then launches that circle at the player. It has a very wide attack range and isn't easily ducked. Similar to the beam focuser, using cover to your advantage and attacking in bursts is the safest way to deal with this enemy. If you have the opportunity to get close, striking them with a melee attack fells them quickly. Also similar to the beam focuser, charging it while it's attacking almost guarantees that you will take damage. Finally, this brings us to the boss. The boss of this area is known as the Rabid Bestiary, or sometimes referred to as the Big Book. This boss teleports and will shoot attacks in bursts of 3. It's a fan of projectiles that can range anywhere from being completely vertical to completely horizontal. The vertical strikes can be sidestepped and the horizontal ones can be ducked. The strikes in between have a combination of both variants that can be used to dodge. For instance, a projectile that is low on the left and high on the right at a 45-degree angle can be sidestepped right or ducked close to the middle. The boss teleports to a different location after taking damage. Knowing this, you should strike the boss with both of your weapons at the same time to do the most damage. After 3 waves of taking damage, the book will go to the ground and open, becoming invincible. It will then summon a small number of enemies ranging from disc elementals to flying books to orange slimes. Once all these enemies are dispatched, the book will become active again and the cycle will rinse and repeat. Continue to hit the book with both weapons and play safe around its projectiles and you will defeat this boss. And that's everything for the Forgotten Library. I hope you found this video useful, and if you do, please subscribe to the channel. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it would mean a lot to me. That being said, thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful rest of your day.